Nik Bagley in the short black trunks. Somebody didn't get the email about bringing two different colour pairs of shorts, but what can you do? Oh, nice left hand early there from Bagley.
There we go, there's the shot very early. Nicely done. Tried to defend that, but just muscling down to the ground. You know, this is an interesting position. We see a butterfly guard, which is actually what I believe to be an underutilized position in MMA. Grappling from a double overhook position, not particularly strong because it doesn't have great control over your ability to narrow the upper body base of your opponent. Into half guard we see now. And this is certainly a much worse position to be in the butterfly guard. Expect to see Nik look to take some sort of tight upper body control. Scott doing a good job of utilizing the underhook, trying to get a reversal here, but finds himself inside a anaconda choke here. This is a pretty tight position, almost set up looking like a guillotine into the guard position here. This is tight, this is deep on the bicep. You've got to take into account that this is, you know, almost just a minute into the first round. They're going to be as dry as you're going to get in this fight. This is a strong position. You don't generally see someone hold on to this position for too long. What you want to see him do, though, is actually roll onto his back, and this will allow him to, what you want to do is you want to decrease the angle between you and your opponent. So interesting to see switching into a guillotine here. He's going to have to make a decision about what he wants to do with his body. This is a great position to switch to the back now. You know, that front headlock, he decides to strike instead and loses the position, but he's got to have some confidence.
Yeah, good work there from Pedersen to get back to his feet and threw the knee up the middle as well, but Bagley right back in his face.
Yeah, personally, I think that guillotine, that front headlock position, especially where it was, it's such a good position to either control, obviously submit, but also to transition from. I personally wouldn't look to strike from there. I think there's a lot more that you can do, such as switching around and taking the back, a better position to strike from.
Good head position there from Bagley, just keeping his head in the pocket between the shoulder and the chin, just keeping that pressure up. Not really giving Pedersen a whole lot of room to breathe here.
Yeah, nice double underhook position here. He can either look to trip the legs whilst controlling the upper body, or he's going to look to drop down, but definitely look like he's setting up a takedown from this position. Certainly in a good position to do it.
Short shots here from Bagley.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to, there we go, body lock, nice position here, drags his man to the ground, back into this half guard position.
Yeah, powerful stuff there from Bagley. Does look like he may have something of a strength advantage, at least from what we've seen in the opening minutes of this contest.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way, doesn't it? So yeah, nice tight upper body position here. I can't quite see, but it doesn't look like Scott has an underhook on the far side now, which is what he had the first time he found himself in this position. Huge advantage if you're underneath half guard. You have a far side underhook, or underhook from us for the far side, because you can use that, as we saw before, to try and get to the knees, to try and switch to a sweep or a takedown. So you might see Scott trying to work that arm back underneath, that left arm, trying to get back into that underhook position. He was able to get a little bit of a takedown attempt off of the half guard last time. So you know, what you don't want to do is allow your opponent to take that far side underhook, and that's really going to shut down most of your options, especially with the upper body from half guard.
Yeah, one of the questions we often ask about novice fighters is, you know, how are they going to fare when the contest moves on? But both of these guys with extensive amateur backgrounds and have gone the distance numerous times as amateurs, so you've got to think they're going to be okay as we go into the second and possibly third round here.
Yeah, and you saw there that far side underhook finally coming under. I think Bagley could feel that possibly another sweep or takedown switch attempt, and gives up a little bit of space. Scott did a good job of getting back to a slightly better guard position, but Nik just again looking very strong, very dominant on top here, forcing his opponent back into that underneath half guard position, possibly thinking about setting up a far side Kimura here. He has a bit of a wrist control on that far side. Yeah, I think he's thinking about it. Let's see if that left arm comes over the top of Scott's head from side control. Much better position to set up a Kimura if he's still got that wrist control. There we go. That arm's coming over. I think he might try and slip that underneath. He's looking to switch to a north-south choke possibly. I think you have better luck with a Kimura. There we go. He's using the forearm. Instead of using the hand, he's using the forearm to control. Connect the hand here, and now he wants to lift his opponent off the ground. It was a pretty good position he was in. Only 10 seconds on the clock, but you know, I saw he was thinking about that Kimura, and he had a possibility to finish it for a second there.
Trying to wrestle back to his feet here is Pedersen, but that's the end of the round. And there was some nice short shots as well from Nik Bagley towards the end of that round. And you know, for my money, that's a very, very strong first round for Nik Bagley. That was his Cage Warriors debut.
Yeah, that was a super strong, very dominant round from Nik Bagley. It's going to be very interesting to see whether he can maintain this very physical game into the second and possibly third round. But yeah, very, very strong first round.
Big takedown early on here from Nik Bagley. And Dan, here's that incredible switch there from the anaconda to the guillotine.
Yeah, I just wish he did a little bit more with the control from this position. You know, he saw the head there, he went for some strikes. I think if he had switched to the back to a turtle position, it would have been a better position to strike. Again, just muscling his man down. We saw a lot of this half guard position here, looking just very strong. Scott really just wasn't able to get any of his game off at all.
Nice elbows there from that knee on belly position to end the round, and that is as good a round as you're going to see on your Cage Warriors debut from Nik Bagley there.
Beautiful level change straight into a double leg, and look how powerful he is. I mean, answering any questions that we have whether he has the ability to continue this physicality into the second round. And again, look at this position now. This is an awkward position. For a second there, Scott looked like he was going to try and stay on his side to grab a leg, could give off the back position. Bagley trying to immediately pass into a mount position. This is all about the knee line here. Nik wants to try and get his hips and legs on the far side. There we go, he's past the knee line. See that small movement as he shifted his legs up? Well, now he's he's essentially in a mount position. It's a very low mount position. What Scott wants to be doing is trying to frame on the hip and get back into a butterfly guard position. He doesn't do that, and that allows his opponent to now get to a proper mount position. He's using the grapevines here. What does that mean? He's looking to strike. When you take that grapevine position, that position with the legs, it allows you to put lots of pressure through the hips, but it takes away any ability to take the back, to attack arm bars, to attack triangles, to do any sort of stuff like that. So he's really going to focus on striking from here and possibly looking to set up a head and arm choke.
Well, his professional win was by head and arm choke, so we know he likes to look for that, but taking the back here, yeah. Oh, and that's gone straight underneath.
Beautiful position. So he switched out of that grapevine position into a standard mount position. Scott exposed the back, immediately jumping on the back, getting both hooks in, now switching into a body triangle. This is a really strong position. What Scott wants to do is exactly this. He wants to fall to the side that the legs are locked off. What that does is it stops your opponent from being able to make any adjustments with the hip. So even though he's still on his back, this is where he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be on this side, because now the opponent's in a really strong position. I think he might be thinking about tapping right now, because when he doesn't do anything else to defend.
And there is the submission, as you said, Dan. What a way to open your Cage Warriors account for Nik Bagley.
Yeah, what a fantastic performance. Looks so physically strong, so dominant. The technique was there on the ground. Very, very strong first round, and second round even better. Taking the mount very early, taking the back, sinking the arms underneath the neck and getting that choke. What an incredible performance.
And against a guy the level of Scott Pedersen, who just has such an incredible pedigree dating back to his amateur career, that's a huge win for Nik Bagley. He now will get an official second win on his record, and what a win that is.
So that's that shot, you know, closing the distance really nicely, very early. Scott for a second thinks about taking the trying to hit a switch here. He finds himself underneath the mount, and then he was able to transition round to the back and sink in that choke. There we go, another shot of the takedown early. Or not.
Big win there for Bagley. Let's throw it to our MC in the cage, Mr. Hal Chaplin.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Mr. Leon Roberts, calls a stop to this contest after 1 minute and 53 seconds of round number 2, declaring your winner by way of rear naked choke in the blue corner, Nik Bagley.